Hey, it's Janae here to brighten, enlighten, and ignite your day. It's Transformation Tuesday. I'm here with another edition of The Gist, helping you to get inspired and start your transformation. Today's resource is the sequel to last week's gist on the Book Whisperer. And the sequel is Reading in the Wild. The Book Whisperer's keys to cultivating lifelong reading habits. So what she was noticing is when she can do all she can during her year to set up a wonderful reading environment, but what was happening when some would leave her classroom and other environments weren't set up to read as much as she set it up, then what happened was that some kind of faulted back on their old habits. So she wanted to find out, what are those skills to having lifelong readers? Now in her Book Whisperer book, she talked about that there's 3 types of readers, developing readers. So I could say this is like my younger son who's 2nd grade. He's developing his reading skills. Then there's dormant readers, kind of like my middle son, Grant, who it isn't necessarily the first choice of what he does, because it lies dormant into tapping into what's that passion of his reading. And then the 3rd son, she calls underground readers. That's like Gavin, who over Thanksgiving break read 5 books. Okay, so these underground readers find a time to read and they're just always reading. So she wanted to find out, what are those lifelong habits? So the inspiration is the 5 lifelong habits to being a lifelong reader. And so these aren't just those who leave the classroom. That's what she said. Her ultimate goal is to cultivate lifelong readers, to love books as much as she does. And of course, I do. And so the 5 habits are, number 1, you have to dedicate time to read. And that's what I was noticing was important. Of course, the school has time and we were doing all the minimums, but you just really have to dedicate it and make it be a priority. The second is choice. So that we're giving oftentimes the reader the choice of things to read. Of course, at ages you have to broaden their perspectives, because there might be some kind of a genre they don't even know that they like. But that most of the time we have our choice, because we get excited when there's so many choices to read in those, that we want to really encourage that. The third is that they're sharing. You have to have some community or someone that you can share your love of reading with, the kind of books you like. It was really fun over break. I got Gavin a movie to one of the books that he read, and it was fun because we watched it together, and then I was like, okay, tell me more about the other books. I can see why you've read this series twice. And I'm totally not into science fiction or fantasy or whatever type it was, but it was really fun to see, and I could see how he really liked it. And then the 4th is having that reading plan, which I talked about, a formal way to track information. What are their future books that they want? What are the current books that are reading? What are their reading responses? What are their genres? So they can take things off. So there's all these kind of forms and details you can get in these books that I've also adapted for my boys. And then the 5th thing is that they get to show preferences. So lifelong readers really have preferences, and they know what they like to read, and they always have a book with them on the go. So that's the 5 habits that really helps. Okay, and then what's the transformation to this is, I would say, the reading room. I decided that the only place that I can control a reading environment is the home. And while I'm an avid reader, my older son, the rest not so much. So what could we do to really create and dedicate time, do those 5 habits in our home? So I decided first thing in the morning, in my room, we'd have a reading room where my 2 youngest would snuggle up with me and do some out loud reading together, which is important. And then at the end of the night, we would end the night together as a family room, trying to dedicate at least 15 to 20 minutes, if not more, as a family, and having our reading room together where we have quiet, independent reading. And that's been super, super fun. And it gives us a chance then to share more about our books and to dedicate that. So whenever you have a chance to think about reading and in your life, these are 2 great books no matter what age or stage that you at, if it's for yourself or helping others. I definitely recommend them. So from my heart to yours, be love.